Today I'm going to be talking about OCD-like tendencies in those with AS, and I would appreciate feedback on this video. And if any of you with AS can tell of your OCD-like experiences. This is just for me. I don't know if I have kind of a mild OCD, or in the grand scheme of things, the OCD kind of experiences are really just riding on the back of some of my routines and fixations with AS, on AS. So I'm just going to go over a couple of scenarios, what happened in my early life. The first thing that comes to mind is I'm probably about 4 years old. I'm in the kitchen, I'm eating something, and my mom's at the top of the stairs, and she's coming down the stairs slowly. And for some reason in my head, I say to myself, you need to move as many things around as fast as possible without her knowing until she gets, until she's in the kitchen. But you have to get as many motions and as many movements in as much as you can, really. So I'm moving cups, I'm moving this, left, right, okay, this good, I'll go back in my chair, move to the left, move to the right, okay. So this is a frenzy, it only takes a couple of seconds for someone to walk down the stairs. So you can imagine just how my brain is just flicking from one thing to another, and any little small suggestion that might be possible, it's, there, you need to do it. It's kind of like don't think of a white bear, right? And you think of it, right? So imagine that there's just those little scenario things that go on in your head, and you're being forced to comply with what's going on in your head. Even though you're the operator behind everything, even though you're the one making all these weird suggestions, you need to follow through with them. So that's kind of what I felt at that point, and it was just anxiety madness, right? So it was, by the time I was like, I'm gonna explode by the time she's gonna get down here and walk through the door. So that's kind of OCD-like. I'd say more in the classical sense. Another thing is when I was probably about 7 or 8 and lying down in bed before I went to sleep. Every kid knows that the F word is, it's taboo. It's forbidden, right? It's something bad, right? So that it has kind of this label as this is a bad thing to say. It's wrong. You're not allowed to do it, right? So I thought it was even bad to think about the word, let alone say it. So when I was going to sleep, I'm trying to go to sleep, I used to, something in my head made me say that, in my head, F, keeps on going. And of course I'm freaking out, whoa, no, I can't be saying this. So I needed to nullify those F words in my head. So I used to say also in my head, after every F word, sorry. So it would be F, and I'd be like kind of nullify. I need to catch up, I need to say sorry for each F word that pops into my head. And sometimes the F words were going so fast that I couldn't keep up, so I went on a rampage of sorry, and stack up these sorries, and hopefully, the F words aren't going to catch up as high as the amount of sorries I've put into the pile. I know that this kind of sounds like, but this is actually how I was thinking about it. I imagine them as cue cards piling up. The F cue cards were red, and the sorry cue cards were yellow. So these are the kinds of specific visual images that go along with some of the things and the things that happen in my head. That's just another insight. But that too is also kind of a classical OCD-like sign. So I don't know. But see, since these things are tied up with visual images so strongly, I don't know if, like I said before, if some of these OCD-like things are riding on the back of some of my AS abilities, or if I really do have a kind of minor OCD. And even now, things like if I'm on the subway, I have a 10-minute walk home when I get off the bus. So on the subway, I make a visual plan in my head when I'm going to start playing the track that I want. So normally I say I'm going to play this track off this album, and I'm going to press play at the start when I get off the bus at the park. Right, so as soon as I walk past the park, I'm going to press play. So, I'm imagining this, and I'm seeing the park, and I'm seeing my route, and I'm seeing everything, and I'm planning really exactly when in my head, and exactly how it's going to look like, and how it's going to feel like when I'm going to press play on my phone and start the track right at the entrance of the park. Right, so but this isn't something stressful for me. This is just that's what I'm doing on the subway. I'm not thinking about what I'm going to do when I get home, what I'm going to be eating. I'm thinking about planning my little music outing for the 10-minute walk home. So I get off the bus and I'm walking, and I see the park up ahead and where the turn is. So I know I'm going to press play just like I planned. So I look behind. There's no one behind me, but I look ahead, and there's people about 50 meters ahead of me. And I don't freak out outwardly, but it's just kind of like, shit, it's like I didn't take that into account. It's like I didn't factor in that there could be people 50 meters ahead of me, right? That didn't come in with my visual plan, right? So there's these kind of obsessive things. And then at that point I say, oh crap, wait, should I press play before but before I get to the park, or should I press play after the park and then just walk quickly to get ahead of them? So these are the kinds of things that go through my head, and I don't often talk about them, but that's kind of the mechanism of a lot of my anxiety, you can imagine. It's just kind of a random video on a couple observations I made earlier this week. So if you have anything that can relate to this, if you have AS and you kind of had these experiences at one time in your life, I would like to hear about them, if that's okay. I would appreciate feedback. Thank you.